Good morning on this Thursday morning. Kind of in this prepping for a hurricane kind of thing. So we don't really have to prep for a hurricane. Somebody did make a hurricane comment on my post yesterday. So I kind of wanted to correct that. I think I said that we were to the that it was going to go to the east of us. Actually, we're east of where the hurricane's supposed to hit. So my heart goes out to the people who are on that coast. They have been battered this year. It has really, really been tough. I have a young lady who I had coached at one point in time, and she is on the coast and has started a business, and she started in December. She started her business in December only to face the shutdowns that happened in January or actually that happened in March. Just getting started, just getting everything opened up, and the hurricane hit earlier, and it hit the building that she was in. Just really been a tough time for a lot of people, and so that coast is going to get battered again. Fortunately, she's to the east of where that hurricane's supposed to hit, so maybe she'll be spared, and others along that coast that are kind of used to this happening. I don't know how you ever get used to a hurricane hitting, but so much for the weather. That's not really what I wanted to talk about today. What I really wanted to talk about today was I've been working on the final piece for a product that I put together on branding. I've been teaching branding courses for a long, long time. Decided that I would put them together in a systemized format, and which was bigger than anything that I've ever done before. What I had done before basically had to do with on the visual pieces that were necessary. Goes clear back to my days with Colonial Life back in 2005, 2006, when I was the brand ambassador for Colonial Life. And we went through that whole rebranding thing when they went from Colonial Life, an Aston company, to Colonial Life, and took that company, went through with that company through all of the ups and downs of that. So today, I want to share with you one of the things that's necessary, and that is the personal brand. You have a personal brand. You have a business brand. Obviously, there's a business brand, but behind the business brand, there's always people. And so my final piece in that branding training or that branding training portal is the personal brand that makes you, you. And so in the process of that, what you do, one of the things that you need to do is you need to Google yourself and see what other people see when they look for you. You're always behind that brand. You're the guide in that hero journey that's necessary. And when people are going to, and you can count on it, people are going to Google you. They want to see who you are. They want to find out what makes you, you, and where they can find you. I started doing this maybe 10 or 12 years ago. The young man called me and he says, "Man, I was highly qualified for this position. I got passed over." And I said, "First of all, I'm sorry that you got passed over, but let's go through the reasons why you might have gotten passed over." He says, "Well, I was much more qualified than the person that they picked." I said, "I understand that, but there may have been other things and other reasons why they did that." And so what we did was we looked at the personal brand that was him. I'm not going to use his name. I'm not going to give you too many details for obvious reasons. And I said, "Google yourself." I was doing that while I was talking to him on the phone. "Google yourself. Let's see what you find." Well, he did. And I said, "Now, based upon what you see right there, social media profiles, those kinds of, based upon what you see right there, would you hire you?" And he said, "I wouldn't." I said, "Then that's the problem. You have a personal brand, and that personal brand has been tainted. And so it's going to put a lid on what you can do. You have to work on cleaning that up." Now, I've never been a fan of going in and deleting and being able to scrub that. What you do instead is you fill that up with things that are positive. You do things that make you come to the top of that surface, and not things that would cause you to taint your personal brand. Now, some things need to be cleaned up. Understand that. Sometimes young people will have who are entering into that space will have images of them from a time that they might like to forget, and they need to do something about those images. Those will not be beneficial to them. So in the process this morning, of all of that, I decided I'd Google myself. Been a while since I did that. The very first time I did it, I thought, how many Eric Mulfers could there be in the world? And the answer was 28. That was kind of shocking to me. And I realized I wasn't anywhere close to the top in Google on those 28 Eric Mulfers that were on the planet. And so people were going to have a hard time finding me, and that wasn't going to be beneficial. So I set out to kind of make sure that my personal brand, the Eric Mulford, who I am, would make a difference. And so today, and so I did that. And today, I decided to do it again. Hadn't done it for a while, so I decided it'd be a good idea to do it again. And I looked me up. I Googled me and see what I would find. And what I discovered was I have about 3 places where I have a profile that needs to be completed. It wasn't complete, and I thought that would be helpful. Not necessarily true if somebody took pictures. In fact, I'm going to get to one of those in just a minute, Don. I found 3 profiles that I really needed to complete, and so I've got them. I got a list of those, and I'm going to go back in. And I'm going to take a look at those profiles, and I'm going to update them, and I'm going to update the content that I'm offering for free there. I had a book that I wrote years ago, and I forgot it was even out in the public. I've talked about it a lot, but I thought I had retracted that from the public. Somebody read it a month ago and said, I think this is the content is really, really good, but I think it was being used as a promotion for a program that he was offering. Well, the fact is it was. And so it kind of became too obvious at this particular time. And because of the nature of where we're at in the world, that became more obvious. So maybe you need to clean that up just a little bit, something I can take a look at, something that I can make happen and make a difference there. So that was something that was necessary. The other thing, and Don had to bring it up, was I found that I'm on a dating site. Now, I think that was mocked up, but I did find that I was on a dating site. I am not remotely interested in being on a dating site, but the picture that was found was a picture of me in the airport at Vegas. So there you go, Don. That's the other half of your story, because what happened in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas. It was a picture of me from the airport in Vegas. Maybe the worst picture ever. I had spoken at a conference all day that day. My flight was supposed to leave at midnight. I'm stuck in the airport. It doesn't leave at midnight. So I take a picture about sheer exhaustion. And that's the picture that they used on the dating site, which I found really interesting. Please don't encourage this, okay? So don't see if you can find Eric on a dating site, because the picture's taken with my hands down like this. And so it's basically going up my nose, and I'm completely exhausted. Spoken for 12 hours that day. I'm trying to get home at midnight. Don't get home until almost noon the next day. And that's part of the health issue that I had there about 3 or 4 years ago. So what happened in Vegas did not stay in Vegas, Don. It got thrown up on a dating site. So, but this is what I want you to see this morning, is make sure that you understand that you have a personal brand. I'm going to include that in my branding course, obviously. And yes, that is intended to be a promotion, but that is included in my branding course to talk about the personal brand called You. I use that in a couple of things. I talk about your personal brand in a couple of places and a couple of things that I have. One of them is called the Pyramid for Profits. That's a place where we talk about that and how important the brand is. That's you. And so in this branding course that I'm doing, we'll also have that how to live out your brand. And but it's just really important that you understand the value that there is in Googling yourself. The other thing that I discovered was kind of shocking to me is that several years ago I was involved with a platform, and I still appear as part of the support for that platform. I haven't been associated with that for almost 4 years now, but I still show up in some searches. Some image searches show that up. So you'll want to take a look at that. If you're going to have a personal brand, and you do, by the way, you do, whether you want to have one or not. I did a branding webinar not long ago, and somebody said, I want my business and my personal life to be separated. Good luck with that, because it doesn't happen that way. You will always have those two things will always be connected. If your name's associated with it in any way, shape, or form, then you will be connected at that personal brand point. So Google yourself sometime. You may find it enlightening.